Hello Greece, hello Game Over, I'm Ron, welcome to the Emirates.
Something I picked up whilst I was playing with the new 360 movement.
Yeah.
I just find, do you think there's going to be a bit of a learning curve for people to get into that?
I think, so a lot of people have been asking that. I think there's not as much of a learning curve as you might expect. The only thing we noticed initially was the fact that people aren't quite as accurate with their thumbs as they think they are when they're playing FIFA. So I think there's a very small, very short calibration period, for want of a better word, where your brain has to get used to where you're pushing.
Training through the years of
you know, we all find it perfectly natural, and we've only been playing a relatively short amount of time. So I don't think there's a danger of it completely freaking people out.
Cool.
Shoot, man, because she'll be in here.
Last year you told us that there was 200
yes.
Yeah. How many this year? Then which one is this?
So we were supposed to count before we came because we knew someone would ask that question and we forgot. But when we had a very rough look, there were at least 252, but 250 as well. The key part that I kind of want to emphasise to everyone is the fact that the size of the team that's making the gameplay is the same. We haven't increased or decreased. It's a continued investment in that, and as time goes by, the detail level that we're having to drive down to make these improvements is becoming increasingly small. So the stuff we're doing now is like crazy complicated, rather than, you know, kind of last year it was a case of raising a game from this level to this level. This year's about that bit, and that's really hard.
Would you be able to score from outside the box more frequently?
I think under the right circumstances, yes. I think under other circumstances, no. One of the key things that we've been working on is the kind of balance of the game. It was easy to do things inappropriately under some circumstances last year. The example I like to use is the lofted through ball, where say you're defending a corner and the ball breaks, you could do a lofted through ball, ping it right the way down the pitch, the defence was way out of position, your striker runs the ball being a one-on-one. And to fix that kind of thing, we've needed to fix a number of different things, everything from the error on an under pressure midfielder playing that ball, through to making sure the defensive positioning's more rounded, making sure they're covering for each other, and then the AI of the keeper himself. So there's that stuff. As far as shooting's concerned, we're tuning the kind of physics effects. I don't know if you know what Magnus and Reynolds are. They're kind of the dynamics of a football when travelling through air at velocity, and we're tuning them on a per kick basis. So last year's system shared the same physics system. This year we will have individual tuned parameters for those two things on a per kick basis, so depending on what type of shot you take, you will get a different kind of effect, but appropriate. That's to try and make sure that we're allowing people to do more with their kicks, more variety of goals.
Do you believe that the changes in FIFA franchise for third, fourth year consecutive time are going to be effective enough to satisfy the players?
I think so, yeah. I mean, this is a small subset of what we're doing. A lot of the gameplay we've revealed today, not all of it. I think if you look at the quality of the game last year, and everyone talks about Metacritic scores, it's a little bit misleading. But if you think we're in the kind of high 80s quality-wise, we really want to push that up a lot. It's going to be tough to do. I think if you go downstairs and you know, we've been watching the kind of PR and marketing guys play it for the last couple of days because it's only been us in Vancouver. They absolutely love it, and that's 45% of the work that we're doing. So for the rest of it, great. We're not talking about all the stuff we're doing online. We're not talking about all the stuff we're doing in gameplay as well. Manager mode's a big deal for us this year, and I think people who play that mode will be pretty happy with what we're going to do. But I want to sort of reassure everyone, it's not like we're just plodding along. We are very focused on accelerating the quality of the game all the time. It will be harder for me to explain to you what we're doing. Gary's much better at that. He's a programmer in the past, so he kind of knows exactly what's going in. But the quality of the game will continue to improve. And for me, we're focusing on what matters most to people rather than kind of just doing gimmicks, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks.
For the beer pro mode,
yes.
We're going to have more than four seasons for the player.
So the beer pro mode we're not talking about today. We've done a lot of work on manager mode though, which I'm happy to talk about match realism, about the transfer authenticity, player growth, and kind of surrounding it in a football atmosphere. Sorry.
Can I talk about the atmosphere?
Sure. Yeah,
so are the crowds going to cope to...
So we've not done a whole heap of work this year on the crowds either. For me, we did a lot of work on that last year, and I think the results were pretty good. You know, all the dressings and stuff like that were great, and you know, we were proud of that work. That said, there were things that we wanted to do this year that were slightly different. You'll have seen, maybe from the screenshots I showed, the very different looking manager mode. We've done a lot of work on that. The style of the front end or the user interface is very different this year, as well as putting so many new animations into the game. It's just untrue. We've been doing a lot of work on that side of stuff.
Will you include the FIFA Ultimate Team in the...
So yeah, it's massive success. We've been blown away by how many people have been playing that, and the feedback we've been getting is very positive. I think it's a little bit too addictive for people at work as well, and spending too much time and money on it. We're not talking about Ultimate Team at the moment. Naturally, with something that's been so successful and so positively received, there will be a future for it. But what that is at the moment, I'm not talking about. Sorry.
Just a couple more questions, guys.
Just a little about the goalkeeper.
Sure.
For the moment, they are really boxing the ball a lot.
Oh, what with their hands?
Like that?
Oh no. So the punching's new. The physics of the punching's totally broken. No, they're like Superman, man. No, that's not finished by a mile. Okay, no worries.
And what about the physics of the headers, you know?
Yeah, so there's a couple of bits there. So we're trying what's called deferring. I think I mentioned it very briefly in the presentation. Often, because of the trapping from last year, we wanted it really snapping. We wanted players to get to the ball as quickly as possible. That backfired a tiny little bit under some circumstances. So there's the video of the guy heading it really weakly to clear it. It's just not a good way to be. So we're deferring certain actions for others. So in the box you'll see the ball come in and they'll wait and they'll wait and they'll back and then they'll volley it rather than do a little, which just doesn't feel very satisfying. So that's part of the trapping system that we're working on, that kind of easiest. It's easier to volley rather than earliest, which is have a really rubbish header. Yeah? Cool. Yeah.
In FIFA 09 we had a problem transferring the customizations in formations for online and offline gameplay. Are you going to change this?
So the whole locker system, the kind of transferring stuff is kind of the same at the moment. I'm hoping that some of the online work that we're doing that we'll be talking about later will address some of those things.
Anywhere else seems better than me.